So hey y'all, I'm back with another video. So tonight's video is yet again another Chioma Chats video podcast edition. So by the title, we are going to be talking about a viral Facebook post discussing Lil Durk's current fiance India Royale versus his alleged mistress slash mother of his love child, Destini Phillip. There has been a lot of conversation about this topic, and social media users have honed in on the alleged colorism that's being given to Destini. Just for some backstory, it recently came out that Chicago rapper Lil Durk fathered a child while dating his fiancée India Royale. Some way, somehow, the internet was able to find out about Destini Phillip, who from my understanding already shared this information about who her baby daddy was a long time ago. I do have to mention that there are people also saying that she was trolling when she claimed Durk as her child's father, which I can also kind of see someone doing that, but I think with the recent breakup rumors from Durk and India, this story actually may be true. I don't know, but for the sake of this video and being that the topic is more or less about comparing women's looks through colorism, I'm just going to discuss it as such, but all of this is alleged at this moment. From my understanding, this child is almost 1 year old and her looks are very similar to not only Lil Durk, but Lil Durk and India's baby as well. So in true black internet fashion, people have been drawing comparisons on the two ladies to understand why or how Lil Durk not only cheated, but impregnated this Destini girl. The comparisons were about everything but the simple fact that for a man like Lil Durk, he's looking for a quick nut, a wet ass, and sexual fulfillment. Like for real, I barely see anybody blaming Durk for being the one who stepped out on his relationship, but all this smoke for Destini, who technically owes no loyalty to Durk or India. However, I do not think it's okay for someone to know that someone is in a very public, high-profile relationship and still get with him. Because no matter what, Destini knew better and knew that the outcome of this situation was going to bring her money and clout regardless. So she was definitely wrong. So the comparisons were about looks, and that is such a girl thing to do because what I have noticed is what women see and what men see are two completely different things. Have y'all ever seen a girl that all of the guys at work or school hype up and gas up and just make it seem like she is a goddess, but to us girls, she gives basic or she really isn't that cute? I've definitely experienced this, and it's weird because people will just call you a hater when there is usually a blatantly obvious reason as to why shorty in question is not worth drooling over. But it goes to show that men and women sometimes have different scopes and perceptions of attractiveness. Now, the main conversation was about colorism. It was about whether or not Destini was even cute, and with her being dark-skinned, it was about her being ugly because of that and her features as well. My flat-out thoughts is that Destini is far from ugly, and if you think she's ugly, I'm not saying you're a colorist because you do have the right to not find somebody attractive, but for real, there's probably some underlying colorist tendency to call her ugly versus just saying, in your opinion, she doesn't look better than India. To me, Destini and India give off the same appeal of an IG baddie look, from the designer to the BBLs to the poses and more. They have the same approach to conforming to the social media guidelines for young women these days, and I think that's more prominent than anything. So the viral post is from a Facebook user named Janae Taylor, and I wanted to read it to y'all. So she says, if you're saying that Destini is ugly, you are a colorist. It's okay to think one looks better than the other, but they have the same face features. If Destini was India's complexion, she would look like India and vice versa. Another side note, because a lot of y'all are slow and don't understand, you thinking that a dark-skinned woman is ugly doesn't make you a colorist. There's definitely ugly dark-skinned women, and there's definitely ugly light-skinned women. It's the fact that they both have similar face features, but you're calling India pretty and Destini ugly that makes you a colorist. Can y'all comprehend that? There's people saying that they are calling her ugly because she's a quote-unquote homewrecker, but where was this energy when Taina was the quote-unquote homewrecker in Herb and Ari's relationship? Oh shit, she low-key snapping. She wrong for messing with Durk, but Durk is definitely the homewrecker. That was his relationship. He owed India the loyalty. Side note, y'all keep saying that Taina gets bullied for what she did, but I've never seen anybody call her ugly for what she did. Just jokes about her name. This post is in no way trying to put dark skins and light skins against each other, but to show y'all that y'all are ignorant and have colorism tendencies. Now, Janae makes several good points because the examples she used to combat this is actually facts. When Taina got with Herb, she was not dragged that much for it. People refer to her as Tuna and other names, but she was never called ugly and wasn't really railed by social media for really inserting herself in a relationship with somebody who was clearly in a high-profile public relationship with another woman. And at the end of the day, Taina isn't ugly, but y'all get the point. So y'all know colorism conversations are my forte, and this one is actually really intriguing to me. So I've broken this video down into two main talking points. So without further ado, let's get right into this video. So point number one is, is it colorism? So in Janae's post, she says that there's a lot of colorism being thrown at Destini because of her dark skin, and some people were arguing that by saying, nah, she's just not pretty. And like Janae said, calling a dark-skinned girl ugly does not make you colorist, which is facts. However, with India and Destini having similar features, what exactly is ugly about Destini if it isn't her skin tone causing people to downplay her attractiveness? So to me, you don't have to find her pretty, but from the standpoint of what people say is attractive on young women in 2022, Destini does fulfill those features and requirements. In this side-by-side comparison, both ladies have big full lips, almond-shaped eyes, their noses are pretty spot on in similarity, at least from this angle, but in other pictures it's clear they do have different noses. India's nose is more flat and Destini's nose is more round and snub. As for the body types, they both have had work done, so it's probably spot on for the comparison. So I will say both ladies' surgical enhancements look really good and really natural. So is it colorism that people are calling Destini ugly? I will say yes, only because I don't think she shies away from what social media and just the general public deems attractive. She doesn't have anything conventionally ugly about her. She keeps herself always done up, but she isn't afraid to show her bare face either. After looking through her page, well, at least her highlights and what was on her story when I did look her up, she posts herself without makeup and lashes all the time. So I do think that colorism plays a role because the only unorthodox thing about Destini is her skin tone. The only thing that someone would look at and give her a no about is her skin tone. The only feature she has that wouldn't be praised by the masses is her skin tone. Now, I do say that I have noticed an extreme increase in the appreciation and showmanship of darker skinned women over the last few years. I think the colorism conversations have not only pioneered the gratitude for dark skinned women, but also aided in lessening the massive size criticism that darker skinned women have been receiving for centuries. So in this case, to call her ugly is a reach because with the increased recognition of dark skinned women in recent times, it isn't far-fetched to equate colorism to her backlash. I will also be fair enough to say that I think the situation in itself plays a role because Destini is considered the other woman or the homewrecker, and that's going to bring hate regardless. Like, there are people who find her attractive and want to smack her big booty, but will still fix their phalanges to type hate about her because they just love India and Durk, or in this case, India. So the colorism that is prominent in this situation also translates in featureism. This is because certain features that actually naturally occur in Black women, then being seen on lighter skinned Black women and non-Black women who are either biracial, Latina, or racially ambiguous, get a pass. Meaning, Destini has big lips and may be referred to as a very derogatory name like a DSL or flapper lips and be immediately negatively sexualized for her features. Meanwhile, someone who is fair-skinned and lighter like India would be praised for her lip size, and although she would still be sexualized, the intent wouldn't be as negative. And I'm not saying this is the case, I'm just making an example. I think both ladies are beautiful, and I think I have to be honest about why there may be some discourse about the skin tone of these ladies, which brings me to my next point. Now, point number 2 is the playing field is even or getting even. So this point is probably going to get me dragged and receive a lot of backlash, but I think I have to be real and take the risk of saying ever since dark skin appreciation has cascaded into society, I do think that it is a threat to non-dark skinned women. And I want to firmly say that I am not saying that lighter skinned women, whether they are Black, Latina, biracial, or racially ambiguous, are essentially threatened by dark skinned women. What I am saying is, being that more darker skinned women have increased their confidence in their skin tone, are being selected for positions and roles that were historically excluded from dark skinned women, there are men who are publicly dating and praising someone being chocolate or brown or whatever. It has created an oh shit moment. That's not a dig at light skinned women. That is to say, people are realizing that dark skinned women are no longer out of the conversation about attractiveness, being seen as pretty, and being excluded from opportunities and getting noticed. This obviously is still new, so of course colorism is still prevailing as a thing, like it's still a method of bullying, restriction, and disrespect for Black women of that shade. I can't act as if there's no more dark-skinned women disparities that are happening, but what I will say is it is very natural for anybody, any human, to become aware that another group of people are being promoted and to have a reaction to it, whether that reaction is positive or negative. So lighter-skinned women who, again, may be light-skinned Black women, biracial women, Latina women, and or racially ambiguous women can be allies to dark-skinned women in a sense where they are not colorists and they do see and understand how dark-skinned women have been at the bottom of the social totem pole forever. And then you have some lighter women who have been hyped up from a young age by family members and just the culture of how historically colorist ethnic groups of people have been to believe that they are better because they are lighter. But whether said lighter-skinned ethnic woman takes a positive or negative approach to colorism, I truly believe this surge of dark-skinned women treasuring and admiration has raised people's eyebrows a little bit. If we're being 100% 100% honest, people never expected dark-skinned women to start winning. And by winning, I just mean being seen as just as precious and feminine and desirable as our light-skinned counterparts. And this shift in the status quo is the reason why this comparison is even happening. I know I'm gonna get hate for saying this, but I think there are some light-skinned women who feel threatened by this newfound dark-skinned likeness. And you know, it's almost like people are like, oh my God, how can Lil Durk be with somebody who's dark-skinned? How can a dark-skinned girl get this praise? How can a dark-skinned girl attract this famous desired rapper? And not saying it's India, of course, but I don't know. I've just noticed that some of the roles have reversed in certain cases. I still believe that lighter-skinned women have the upper hand and probably always will have it in regards to what people deem as attractive as a society, like within the whole world. But the playing field has been evened out over the years. And the playing field is a plethora of things from career opportunities, attention from men, media coverage, success stories, and more. It's not just about who men find more or less attractive. There has been a comprehensive overwrite of a lot of the harsh realities dark-skinned women have faced for years. We are not at a point where darker-skinned women and lighter-skinned women get equal treatment and chances, but we have seen more acknowledgement for darker-skinned women. All in all, the underlying conversation about why they are being compared in regards to their skin tone is kind of compelling because it is reflective of where we are as a society of people and the realities that have been made in regards to colorism. So that is it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Please let me know your commentary on my commentary down below. What do you think? What do you know? Let me know. If you haven't already, make sure you're following me on all of my social media networks, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye, y'all.
I know a bitch who I heard got that itch. She make niggas sick when they get a whiff. When they get a sniff, I'm like, damn, pray for him. She don't have no hits and her lace from the stiff.
Chioma, can I hold some?
Nah, I can't do that. False claiming bitches, but all I said is truth. Yep. Never heard of you when they asked, I said, who's that? Mention in the motherland and it will push your roof. Y'all hoes be swearing y'all get in the bag, but it must be a joke or a gimmick. Y'all hoes be swearing y'all music is hot, but I'll fry your ass on the skillet. Y'all hoes be swearing y'all running the game, but couldn't even play in the scrimmage.
She forgot I'm it, so we about to play tag.
Bam! Whole lot of chomas on their ass. Yeah, whole lot of chomas on their ass. Goddamn, whole lot of chomas.